Hey guys, it's Friday. So happy Friday. Uh it's awesome. It's so Memorial Day weekend and I want to salute anybody out there that has served our country. I didn't do it. I actually kind of regret it. And it just takes brave men and women to help this country out, and especially during these times. So if you've served in any type of military, I salute you. It's very commendable. And I actually think all people should do it at some point. Full disclosure, I didn't do it, so I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I didn't have a lot of guidance when I was young, as you guys kind of know. But today is Friday, and I am Rick. So I am the Rick and Flip with Rick. I have been wholesaling real estate for 20 years. 20 years, guys. I took a big gamble after I did my whole college education, and I worked for a company for 12 years, and it was like a prison sentence to me. Um, and I found wholesaling, and it's like 20 years. So whenever anybody tells you it's a scam or it's like it doesn't work, it worked out so well for me. I taught my son how to do it while he was in high school, and I'm here to tell you, if a 17-year-old in high school can make 100 grand while he's getting scholarships, doing his studies, and doing sports, wrestling, the whole nine yards, there's no reason you can't do it. And if you guys don't figure it out by like this live or all the lives I do, um, there is no difference between myself, my son Zach, and you. I am here to tell you, I am extremely humbled in what I do. I have found an outlet that I can help people out, help them achieve the successes I did. And here's the big secret, guys. It's not complicated. It's like everybody makes this business so complicated. I think the complication is there as a lever, so you feel you have to pay someone for the secret. So listen in. We're going to go 2 hours. Actually, I'm just going to do a short 15, 20-minute on basically how to put your wholesaling on autopilot. And you're like, well, Rick, I just started out. That's fine. But you have to know where you're going with this business. I'm telling you, I've done wholesaling for 20 years. I got to be honest, the first 2 or 3 years, I had no idea where this thing was going. And honestly, it took me 7 years to share what I'm going to share with you. So it's not complicated. It'll be really short, but there's a reason you're busting your butt. You're grinding. You guys are out there calling sellers, trying to put deals together, wholesaling, because you have to be really good at it, because you're going to teach other people to do what you do. And if you're not good at it, it's really hard to motivate other people to do what you need to do. Mostly in wholesaling, once you get to my level, you have to learn to lead people. And those are additional skill sets you have to pull on. And we're going to go on it briefly. So guys, use the chat to connect with people. If you want to work with someone, just make sure that you vet them properly. I know a lot of people in these chats. I don't know everybody personally, but I just like, make sure you protect yourselves. So everything me and Zach do for free, 100% free. So if you're new to the channel or you're just coming across me now, do me a favor, click on that subscribe button. And for God's sakes, please smash that like button. So the more likes we get, the more people this video will reach. And we've helped out so many people. It's just really humbling what's going on here. So me and Zach are the first and the only ones that give out 100% free content, because I feel the more I give, the more I'm going to get back in return. And I'm not talking about money, guys. Like, listen, I'm working on deals with so many of you, and I just want everybody to be successful. I'm there. So I got to find other people to get there. Why do I not charge for coaching? Because honestly, it's an abused system. There's good coaches out there, but for the most part, they're there for the payday, and that's it. They're going to give you information, but it's just information. So why not just give you the information for free? So that's the really cool part about it. So do me a favor, make sure that you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it. So remember, oh my gosh, I'm looking at all the people on here. That's really cool. Remember, if you're going to do wholesaling, man, you got to have fun doing this stuff. So I just like, if you can't laugh in life is tough enough as it is. Actually, it's not that tough. It's just tough things happen to us and we have to respond to it. So my rule when you do wholesaling is you have to have fun with it. So the more you have fun with your sellers, the more you have fun with your buyers, and the more fun you have with people you're working with in wholesaling, I'm telling you, it's just a lot better. It's I just I don't like to do business with people that like don't like to have fun. So if you don't like to have fun, this is probably not going to be the chat for you, because I just find that sometimes, number one, you have to be real. You have to like show people like you're human, and honestly, you just got to have fun. So I will tell you, wholesaling, you're going to have a sense of humor, because some days you're going to be like some days just freak you out a little bit. So you have to have that type of personality where nothing bothers you. And I'm not talking about nothing. Listen, things bother us, but I want you to go out and have a good time. So my best example, you guys know, I'm going to roll you into the video and we're going to get started.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. So it just, you got to have fun. This business can be somewhat taxing on you sometimes. And if you have a mindset where you just kind of have fun and listen, we still get business done. But I will tell you, my most stressful situation with sellers, if you can get them to smile and laugh, you have no idea how many deals I've saved with cracking not a smile, just a laugh. So you want to do it. So today we're going to take a brief time to talk about autopiloting your wholesaling business. And listen, if you're just starting out, don't tune out of this one, because you've got to understand what your vision is, because I want you to know, once you master talking to sellers and you get really good with it, we're going to show you how to get yourself out of the business to really run your business so you don't have to be in your business every day. Guys, it took me 7 years to figure this out. I could have easily done it by year 1 or 2, but nobody gave me a blueprint. I didn't know what to do. Now, full disclosure, when I share this with you, I did this to the extreme for 4 years in my business. And Zach can tell you, because he came to the office. We had an office. We had a large staff, not a large staff, but a lot of people, 10 plus. And I said, after 4 years, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to show up to a desk. I don't want to show up to an office, and I don't want to like babysit employees. And every time we kept growing, we had to hire more people. You had to get a sales manager, everything. This is not what it's about. I'm here to show you to run a small, lean staff so you can do what you want when you want and still have your business run for you. I'm here to tell you, you 100% do not need a physical office to do wholesaling. I've been doing this 20 years. I've had 4 offices. I regretted every one of them because I was a prisoner to it. And I felt I was sliding back into my old corporate job 6-7 days a week, constantly reviewing employees and just endless meetings. And so I'm going to simplify it for you, because at the end of the day, it's what you take home and how much time you have with your life. If you're wiring wholesaling to have more freedom of time, the last thing you want to do is go out and get a job and get like 6 or 7 employees, because your family's not going to see you for a couple of years if you do that. Ask me how I know. I got so good at wholesaling, and then I bought into this big, massive program. And after 4 years, I said, I'm not happy. And I walked away from it. I just liquidated the whole thing. I paid a lease for I had a 6-year lease. I paid the last 2 years. And That's it. So that's what it's not going to be about today. The idea is about how to replace you in your business as you get successful in wholesaling. And at what point do you do it? It's probably one of my biggest questions when it comes to automating your business. So without further ado, let's jump into it. If you guys have questions, put them in the comment sections. We're going to go about 15 minutes here, and I'm going to switch over. And I try to do everybody first come, first serve. So go in there and get Q. If you want, just you can. By the way, you do not have to put your face on there. I really don't care. It doesn't matter. So without further ado, let's roll into it. And guys, please do not write this off as, wait a minute, let me add this thing on here. Okay, I got to switch this over here. Okay. As I said, if you're a beginner, don't scroll over this, because honestly, you want to know where it's going, because I met with every seller for the first 7 years. I did it way too long, but it is a gift that I did it because I can actually teach you guys even better, because I've been on so many appointments. I've met with so many people. Nothing fears me when I meet with sellers. And honestly, I'm not a super slick salesman. I just talk to people and I help them solve their problems. And that's all wholesaling is. Anybody who tells you you have to be this slick, like super closer, that's not it. You do have to get the contract signed, but it's not like being like this greasy salesman. That's not what today's about. So I will try. Let me figure out how to do this. Okay, let's roll through it. If you guys don't see my face on there, it's because I don't. Oh, there it is. Okay, so you don't think I disappeared. So, by the way, guys, this is live. It is the 27th of May, a Memorial Day weekend coming up, and it is 5:12 p.m. Eastern time. So, how to a 100K systems guide per month, guys. I'm telling you this. I do this in my business. It's really not even that hard. Remember, my goal here is to teach everyone how to make their first 100K. And then this is what you can kind of look forward to in what you're doing. And I'm telling you guys, rule number one, I repeat, do not go out and get an office. It's not going to make you any more money. It's actually going to cripple you, in my opinion. You can do it. I did it. I did it 4 times. And honestly, I just wasn't happy. But if you like that environment and you want to manage a lot of employees and you want to work your butt off, go for it. I'm not going to stop you, but that's not why I got on the wholesaling. So you can go get a job and do any of that stuff. So let's jump into it. So scaling to 100K a month, day 3 is the section we're on. And this is going to be really, really simple, but I want you to understand the vision of where you're going in wholesaling. So if you're just starting out or in your first year, you haven't got a deal yet, you're like, man, how the heck am I going to do this for the rest of my life? I'm here to tell you that's not the plan. There is a plan for you to actually make this work without you meeting with every person. Okay. It gets taxing. And as the leads get bigger, as they grow and you do more and more, like you just don't have enough time to go meet with everybody. I stopped meeting with them, I said after 7 years, but it took a long time for me to do that. So we're going to break down how to turn the business into an autopilot so you can work, ready for this, 5 hours a week. And you're like, Rick, I think you're lying to me. I'm just telling you guys, if you had to sit with me in what I do all day, like anybody want to guess what I did today? Put it in the chat comment. Take a wild guess. Okay. Yes, I met with Zach. We've gone over some business. We've done everything, and we always have a plan to help you guys out. And by the way, guys, the June challenge is going to be awesome. It's going to be like incredible. But put in the chats, ask me what I did today, and I'm going to tell you how I did it, and I'm going to show you exactly why I'm able to do stuff like that. So if you guys have got them right, so Reese has got it right, George has got it right, man. I love to fish. I didn't have time to download the pictures, but I went out dolphin fishing this morning, but I got buried in sailfish. So fishing was really rough, though. It was really, really rough, but I enjoy it. I love getting out in nature and spending time with friends and family. Zach likes to go with me too, and we have a good time. Honestly, I couldn't do it. I don't fish on the weekends because I don't want to deal with the crowds. It's really, really easy. We just keep the boat like right on the water and we just go. So, but I get up early in the morning to do that. I do some emails. I get everybody, give them the plan for the day. And then I go out and I come back and I do the lives with you. And I'll probably work tomorrow just because I got a bunch of stuff to do. But I love the fish. It's what makes me feel full. And I love hunting for my own food, and it's fun. And I love Mother Nature. So, guys, without the way I set up my business, I couldn't do that because for 4 years I was chained to a desk with so many employees, so many obligations. I just was miserable doing it. So, life's short, guys. You just don't want to work till the day you die. And then, like, what do you got to look forward to? So, I don't agree with retirement. I'll probably do this business. Now, if you work 5 hours a week, you can work till the day you die. You're fine with it. Like, so don't wait till you're 65 to do all this. 5 hours a week. Okay. So it's simple. The key to the autopilot mode is a COO. So everybody knows what a COO stands for. If you want to put it in the comments, help people out. They're just fancy words for titles. You hear CEO, which is Chief Executive Officer. COO is Chief Operating Officer. So basically, he's the person that's going to be in charge of your business and run it, and they're going to basically be you. So a COO is kind of like a mini version of you. They are not the CEO, that's you. CEO is the person who is the final say in everything. So the CEO is the person that's going to be right below him. So they need to fill your role. So you have to run your business as a CEO, as a COO, and everything else down. I did that for my first 7 years. You can't do it forever because you'll burn out. I'm telling you, it's like hard to keep it all going. So we want to reduce your work hours. Some of you guys are working 50, 60 hours. Some are 40, and we work it down to 5. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And we're going to show you the key points on when you want to implement this stuff. Okay. So COO, Chief Operating Officer. Okay. So maybe that's me, maybe that's Zach. But honestly, I did this with Zach when I did it. Actually, I trained him to be a COO, and he actually is a COO for our wholesaling operation. He oversees all the employees. I got to be honest, it took me a long time to step away from it. And honestly, I'm here to tell you, and if you guys raise kids, there's an incredible satisfaction for somebody stepping up and taking over your role. And tell me if you're a parent, and this is the truth. Okay. We all want to protect our kids, and we don't want them to go through all the hardships we go through. And we don't want them to go through the struggles because you're scared they're going to get hurt. It's going to be frustrating. And I'm here to tell you, you got to let your kids go through it. I'm not talking about putting them in harm's way, but Zach got eaten up a little bit when this first started, and now he's so much better for it. And I had to just step out of my own way to make it happen. Did we lose some deals? Yeah. But right now, honestly, Zach he's as good as I am, if not better. I just have more experience. That's the only difference. So he does some more cutting edge stuff that he teaches me, which is great. By the way, a COO, I don't care what their age is. Like, if you could find someone like Zach to go in and like run your business, you would be crazy not to hire him. So, basically, you're going to find a mini version of you. And here's the secret. They are never, ever going to do what you do to your 100% satisfaction. I struggled with this for way too long. If you can get 50, 60% and just keep upping it like 1% every other week or even month or even year, then you'll get there. But they're never going to be completely you. We all have our unique abilities. We're all different. So how do you find the right COO? This is like the biggest challenge. How do you find your own mini me? This is at a very, very basic level. Okay. Number one, you need an employee that's an integrator. Okay. They can't be a visionary. So I'm here to tell you, full disclosure, I fit much more in the visionary role. I have ideas. I run with it. And like, I'm really good at like making money. It's like what I'm good at. But honestly, I'm better. My real gift is connecting with people and solving problems, which makes money. So I always thought I was good at making money. The truth of the matter is I'm good with connecting people, and I'm good spelling out a plan. Now, an integrator is the person that you go, here's the plan, go execute it. So you guys know execution is actually it's as valuable, if not more valuable than the visionary, and even the CEO, because if they don't execute, the business fails miserably. So you guys see businesses fail all the time. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Why? Because people don't execute. You can have all the ideas in the world. Give me someone that can execute and you can dominate any business. So you need to find someone that is not the visionary. Like, you ever met someone that all they do is have idea after idea after idea? Find someone that goes out and will knock on 100 doors, or someone that will make, 5,000 calls, someone that will execute. If they execute, this is what you want. You cannot have dreamers and visionaries, because you're never going to get anything done. Remember, you starting out wholesaling is you started out as a visionary. Some of you are really good integrators. I'm a decent integrator, but there's people much better than me doing it. And it took me a long time to figure that out. So you need to find someone that can execute. This is what we call the integrator. Okay. So Rick, when do I start this process? Honestly, until you're making 60, 75K, I say 100K. Just dive into wholesaling. Okay. Everybody wants to just like, I want to skip the journey, and I want to make 500 grand a year, and I want someone else to do all the work. You can easily get there. That's a no-brainer, but you have to take the walk. Okay. If you don't, you're never going to be able to train and lead your employees to do it. My personal recommendation would be 100 grand, but you can't even consider this before 75, in my opinion. So I think it used to be 60, now it's 75. But remember, you have to get, and so like, okay, well, Rick, here's another way to look at it. When your plate overflows and you have more leads than you can contact in a day, and you got 5 appointments scheduled, and you got this closing, all these things going on, that's when you need to start considering bringing people in. Okay. Me and Zach talked yesterday in detail of who you would have to hire first. If you missed that video, go back into it under the day 2 series. And we go into grave detail who you hire first. And by the way, it is not the COO. That's one of your last hires. Remember, that's the person that replaces you. And remember, they're going to do your job. So you have to do your job really well before you can bring them in. And here's the key is they need to get paid, because you didn't get into wholesaling not to get paid. You want to help out as many people as possible. And in return, by solving as many problems as possible, you will be rewarded. And it is going to be through your finances. So we're not going to be cheap on these people. So you've got to be making X amount of money, because you're going to find out when you get to that whole CEO, you're actually going to take a pay cut, and it's going to hurt a little bit. But remember, you're not in the business every day. It's like a stock that you know is going to go up in value every month, and all you have to do is collect the check. But you do have to follow up with systems on it. Okay. So the COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer, this is basically the roles. They're going to do daily meetings. They're going to do the hiring and firing. They're going to train employees. They're going to make decisions, and they're basically going to report to you. Well, I'm listening to this there. Okay. Guys, does that make sense? They're basically, you're just replacing yourself. Do not complicate this. Okay. We have to have plenty of income coming in, and you have to feel a little bit overwhelmed. Actually, you got to feel a lot overwhelmed. Okay. I waited till I was completely buried. Okay. I knew I was in trouble when I did 15 closings that were extremely profitable in 1 month, and the leads were just backed up. And I made a mistake of like, I'd bring in my wife to help with this. And I brought in like people in the family to help out like that. Those are just Band-Aids, guys. So I'm giving you vision for the long run of like what you need to do, because if you think you're going to have to sit there and meet with sellers for the rest of your life, you're not going to be doing this business correctly. So our main thing is to get you started and get you up to 100K. I'm just selling you the vision on where you want to go with wholesaling. Okay. So this is what you need to do. This is what your 5 hours a week are going to look like when you get a COO and you actually have your business on autopilot. Okay. This is guys, this is my schedule. Now, notice 5 hours. These are mandatory things that are non-negotiable. If you don't do it, your business will fall apart. What you do with the rest of your time, knock yourself out. Go fishing, go bowling, go on camping trips, go on destinations. And here's the really cool part. If you decide not to commit to an office, all this can be done just like you and me are interacting to now. You choose it. Zoom, FaceTime. I mean, it's like TikTok, anything. It's so easy to communicate with people. A lot of CEOs in the old days, they had to be in your local community. It's kind of nice if they are, especially if you're new to it, but you can hire anybody in the world to do this job. Okay. You can find the best quality. If you can handle that, some people can handle that, But if you're running a virtual business, it opens up so many more opportunities of the type of people you can hire. So number one, you can do an hour of meetings. Okay. Meetings are with who? You're going to meet with your COO. You're going to go over your KPI numbers. You're going to make sure leads are flowing, contracts are flowing. You're going to look at revenue coming in, expenses going out, stuff like that. The next one is just research. I constantly research markets I want to penetrate. So we do a lot of virtual marketing as opposed to our local marketing. And we actually have two different types of salespeople that handle that. They're completely different fields. We make a lot of money in our local market because we go belly to belly. We go hard. And I recommend every one of you, if you can meet someone in person, it's much more powerful. 70% of all communication is nonverbal. So if you're new to talking to people on the phone, it takes a while to find those little subtle differences. And sometimes the difference between 10, 20, and 50K. Okay. Then you go over like deal analysis. You constantly go looking at deals and you have the final say on them. So like every day I get a spreadsheet of deals we're working on. And so here's the deal. I'm down to twice a week now. So I used to do it every day. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm not just going to look at like 4 or 5 deals. Let's look at them all at once. Because once you get into it, guys, here's the key is comping all that. I go over all of it. I check it, man. Like I'm very anal when it comes to my business, and I want you guys to be the same way. I just don't want you to sit there and grind it out every day. And then an hour for training. You're going to spend a lot of time doing sales training. And sometimes this is the only time you bypass your COO. They do the training and sometimes they hit roadblocks and you jump in. Why? Because you wholesaled, you've made $100,000 doing it and you know the struggles they're going through. And to be a leader, you got to jump in. One of my favorite things to work with Zach and our team is actually go on appointments with them. I love dealing with like problem sellers. Like they're I just love the challenge. It's like the June challenge. Like give it to me. Let's go. Because they all go, well, he's difficult. He's being very commanding. And I'm like, did you do this, do this, do this? They go, Rick, we just need your help. I go, okay, if I go, I'm getting, and I tell them all, if I go, I'm getting a piece of the sales. Well, Rick, you own the company. I go, it doesn't matter. Like, I want you guys to solve this on your own. I'm a team player. I will lead. By the way, I never take the money because, like, think about it. It is my money. So, but you have to lead. Okay. So we talk about training and then relationship. You're like, Rick, what are you talking about relationships? Dude, you spend a lot of time working with people in local markets to develop relationships so you can do JV deals on much bigger deals. So my concentration when I'm doing relationships, I'm constantly looking to buy apartment, commercial buildings and stuff like that. I need to add another zero for what I do. I let them fight for anything from 10 to 100K because they're really good at it. To me, I'm looking for everything from 100K to $1 million plus. So 100K is a small deal in my world when I'm doing the bigger stuff because now I have time to look over those deals. The only reason you guys aren't doing those deals is number one, you're not looking at them. Number two, you don't know how to do them. But here's the cool part. Your $10,000 deals, the $100,000 is just a zero. It's actually the same amount of work. Like unfortunately, I learned that out the hard way. So guys, this is it. This is where you're going with it. I mean, so many people overlook this. They make this so complicated. I'm here to tell you, no office. No office. You can have an office. I'm not restricting you, but I'm just telling you the office tends to be the thing that holds you. Because then, okay, what am I going to get? A receptionist to answer the phone? Then I got to make sure so-and-so clocked in, and it's ridiculous. The last thing I didn't cover is your COO. The minimum they have to make is what you made after your first year or two of journey in wholesaling, which is going to be 100K plus. Okay. The idea is to get them to have you lead to where they're running everything, and then you can just pump up the system, do more leads, make it much more cost effective, and then you should make substantially more than paying them $100,000. And you'll find some really good people for $100,000 plus. Here's the thing is they want to know they're appreciated and they want to know that they can grow with the company. Okay. They're taking a risk working with a small company. That's with you. You got to lead them to the way. How do you do it? You go out and you master wholesaling first. Do not try this in month 3. You're wasting your time. So get a solid year under you and just have your accountant tell you have a tax problem, and have your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, your mom, your dad are telling you like, dude, all you do is work. I'm like, okay, we got to start hiring this thing out. And remember, the CEO is last. Everything else kind of comes before. And trust me, you're going to make a ton of mistakes along the way. I hired some of the craziest people ever. But like, I like to have fun, and that's where a COO makes it much more business than me. Because I tend to hire people that like we just got along. Remember, everyone you hire, it's not about like them liking you. It's about getting the job done and having the company grow, and it's a constant balance. So your COO, you will become very tight with because they're the person that drives your business, and you got to make sure that they're the most rewarded. So that being said, that's it. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I'm going to take a couple questions here, and then I'm going to work over from the live from first come, first serve. And guys, we got an hour and a half. So listen, when you come on the live, do me a favor. Just understand you're like waiting in queue. It doesn't matter if I see your face or not. I don't care. If I click you, you're not there. I just kind of move on. And honestly, if you're waiting to get a phone call or you have something important come up, hold your live off till you have time to do it, because it's just not fair to everybody else for someone to tie it up. So if we can do that, and then really think about your questions, because I'm here. You're getting this 100% free. If I had to charge you to do this, would you ask a better question? That's what you got to ask yourself. So pretend like you just paid me 10 grand and ask me a question that's really going to push you to get the results you want to do. Now, the reason we do this format is because questions help everybody out in the group. Okay. There's no way I could interact with all like 300 people at the same time. So this is the best way to do it. I get it. Guys, we get so many emails, so many DMs, and I pick away at them. But like, honestly, I'm doing this for free. So I want to help out as many people as possible. So if you guys have not, if you want to know how to join the mastermind, it should be pinned up here. Zach never puts it up for me. Go over to Wholesaling Houses for Real. The link is on the top there. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. Flip with Rick, Zach Ginn, Rick Ginn, and we do a little bit different content on each one of them. And that is it. So let me just go through comments because I missed a bunch of them. The foot test, how do you get boots on the ground when you go virtual? Actually, this is a question that's really simple. So you just got to find somebody in that local market using Facebook groups, any type of social media, Instagram, whatever it is. I don't care, TikTok, any of it, and find someone that's really excited about wholesaling, and someone that you can work with. I suggest doing some sort of video chat to make sure you're matching up the person you're talking to, and see if you can form a relationship and see if you can kind of go from there. There is no like clear cut, hey, go here. They're all sitting there and you'll be fine with it. The easiest way is to organically find someone either that you have a previous relationship with, a family member, a place you went to school, a previous place you lived in, maybe when you lived in you were younger. Those are perfect virtual markets because you already know the layout, and typically people in that local market. If you're going to a market where you have no history or anything, you got to go in groups and find people that will help you out. I will tell you, trying to find like a retired realtor or like person that only like does say, a few listings a year, but they really love working with investors. They're great people to work with. I have some people I've been working with almost 20 years. And that's how I found them. Now, I'm going to here to tell you, you're going to kiss a lot of frogs before you get through it. The minute you have a problem or the minute there's deception, just move on. That's the best way to do it. So, it's, so guys are putting in your market. So you guys answer most of your questions on your own. So this works out perfect. So, okay. So MJ, and by the way, kudos to him. He's on here all the time, and he takes advantage of all the services me and Zach offer for free. So by the way, guys, before I get into this, if you guys are new here, go to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach have a course in there. You're going to be shocked at the price. It's absolutely free. It is not a funnel to do anything else other than help you guys out. I'm tired of people teaching wholesaling like I learned it 20 years ago. So if you're tired of hop on a call and let's do a discovery call. All that is code for is a salesman, and they're just going to try to get your credit card fast as possible. Everybody qualifies. The only way you don't qualify is if you don't pay them. So you don't have to worry about that here. So it just says, Rick, I have my first deal under contract for $36K with an ARV being 180 with 40Ks in repairs. What should I sign it for? And what's the correct maximum allowable offer? So if you have it under contract at 180, it needs 40K in work. See, I'm learning to write down what you guys say because you guys hit me with so many. So 180, 40. So roughly equitable value is 120. Like here's the big secret of 20 years of wholesaling. What your cash buyers are willing to pay for it is what you need. By you putting a cap on what you do the assignment, you're limiting in how much money you can make. So you got to have a target range. So I always look at it like, here's my buy here price. So if you guys ever go to like something like eBay or anything like that, if you ever wanted something so bad, like you didn't want to wait for the bid, you go, okay, this is my buy now price. Put a number on there and put it bigger than what you think it is, because you will be shocked. Now, we're having some shifts in the market, but if you have it's not a terribly expensive home, you're going to get plenty of action on it. So here you have to look at all the factors when you do that. Is the house vacant? Can you easily show your buyers it? Do you have a problem seller? Is the seller living in the house? How bad is the repairs? Are there roaches running around? Are there rats running around? Is the grass, 5 feet high? If you have a green light of a vacant house to walk people through, I swing for the fence. Okay. So the reality is, when you say that 40K in repairs, you guys see the 40K you put up there, that you never know if those are like real numbers. So that was probably the biggest obstacle I had a wholesaler whenever I sold a deal. Rick, how do I know those numbers are legit? And what I found out is most wholesalers, you ready? I'm just going to shock you. They lie about the rehab. So if a rehabber told me it needed 10K, I just doubled the number every time. So I'm sure MJ's numbers are accurate because he's looking for help here. But I always had a price. If I had a difficult deal, like we just sold 3 difficult deals, and actually I'm helping Zach deal out with one tomorrow, squatters, the whole 9 yards. If we just offered a deal, I said, listen, Zach, if you get 45K, just run with it. Zach goes, I got 45. I'm like, and then we go back, well, did we give it away? No, honestly, it was so difficult. It had a squatter in there. It was going to take forever with a lawyer, and I didn't want to deal with it, and the house was a train wreck. Now, if that house is vacant, there's no squatter, and it's clear, I want to set a high price on it, and I want to get down to 2 or 3 cash buyers and just have them bid it up. I'm going to be fair about it, but when it gets down to 2 buyers or 3, I'm going to ask people to put in their highest and final offer. I don't like to use highest and best because I don't want to sound like a realtor. And whoever does it, that's it. And when you do that, you create like a scarcity mindset, and they will go up to their maximum allowable offer. So you got to kind of like put all the factors together. And here's the best part, MJ, is even if you're wrong, just lower the price. So you can't raise the price after you do it. Like, that's real estate 101. If you set a price, you put it on the market, and then you try to raise it after, people are very suspect of what you're doing. Try the opposite way. They're fine with it. And usually with repairs and stuff like that, listen, we're not contractors. We're just guessing on it. So really good questions here. So dude, swing for the fences and let me know like what the conditions and stuff's going on with it. If you're willing to share with me, or if you want, you can PM me on the chat here. I'm always trying to figure out how that works. I see it. Okay, let's jump into it. What's up, Jack?
What's up, Rick?
Hey, we talked yesterday, right?
We were going to, but then the live ended, so we didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. So Jack got in line first. So, yeah, I tell you, sometimes I walk in the studio. I'll come a couple hours to do like work and stuff. I see people in line on there. I'm like, man, it like feels like I'm so old, Jack. Like when we were teenagers, we used to wait in line overnight to get concert tickets. How stupid was that? So, but at least you're waiting in line to get something for free, and you're trying to better your life. So how can I help you out?
So I am in California where things get a little bit difficult when it comes to pricing. So, for example, I have this house where it's been in pre-foreclosure about 6 times, and I'm trying to convince the guy essentially to sell. I'm trying to help him out because he's like, I'll just get a loan for it. I'll just get a loan for it. And I'm telling him, I was like, okay, you have very little left. I'm telling you, it's the best you can do is to just sell the house, take the money you have. And then he already has a house. It's a vacant. It's vacant. It's
Okay.
pre-foreclosure. So he's already living in a different house. I'm telling him, just take the money and run, you know? Oh,
Uh-huh. That's okay.
sorry about that.
Okay, Jack. I was going to put you on the clock there, so
Yeah, my bad.
that's okay.
Yeah, so I don't know necessarily how to convince him and tell him, hey, the best thing you can do is just sell the house now.
So is that the house is in foreclosure, correct?
Yeah, and it has been like 6 times before, and he's telling me he just wants to get a loan.
So
And
how is it? What do you mean 6 times?
It's been in pre-foreclosure, then he pays it off, then it goes into pre-foreclosure again, and so on.
Well, I mean, well, first of all, he's not getting a loan. Okay,
Yeah.
nobody gives loan for anyone that's got a foreclosure because your credit's shot. It's not even an option. So, like sometimes I'm here to tell you guys, foreclosures and pre-foreclosures, they can be very difficult people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not bad people. They're just unrealistic. That's usually why they wind up in that position.
Yeah.
So I made a decision for 2 years. All I did was pursue foreclosures very early in my career. And dude, it was taxing. It was exhausting. And I made a decision that I wasn't going to stop doing it, but I was going to find other avenues as well. But like guys, in Wholesale, you can't make people sell their house. So just don't spend too much energy on it. And just the property's motivated because it's got a pending issue. But
it has an ARV of like 2.2 million.
Okay. So let me let you know on like a number like that, he had to do something to be able to buy the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had to put down a substantial amount of money, probably 400 or 500K.
I'm not sure necessarily on what's happening, but so he's a partial owner. There's 3 people that are in the title, and the person who got the original mortgage recently passed away. So I don't know if that's like a pre-probate or something.
No.
And so that's why the house is going to pre-foreclosure because the person passed away. This is why it's not happening this time.
If you can't connect with them and it's like you're making no progress, just keep them. The only thing that's going to change is time.
He's motivated to sell.
Okay.
It's just I'm not necessarily sure of the process because I just started started the probate module.
So why do you think he's motivated to sell?
Well, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I want to be able to get rid of the house. I'm talking to the person who used to live there, and essentially they're trying to get rid of it. They just don't know how.
What part of without giving an address, what part of California are we talking about?
Riverside County.
Okay, so I'm not a California guy. I'm actually getting ready to go out there soon, so I'm gonna spend some time out there. But where is Riverside? Is it like south of LA or?
It's right next to San Bernardino County. It's about from there, it's about 2 hours. It's close to Palm Springs.
Okay.
It's about yeah.
Okay. So how many times have you talked to him and when did you last talk to him?
First time I talked to him was yesterday, and last time I talked to him was this morning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the challenge. Like when you get houses like that, it's all relevant in like different price markets. So I used to be in Florida where there wasn't a house over like 150 grand. Now there's very few of them below like 600 grand. And we're moving towards like California numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm here to tell you can't make everybody sell their house, and you don't want to spend a ton of energy doing it. But I will tell you, time does change. Like after a while, you just don't want to wait till the house goes to auction because you're going to be in a long line of hundreds, if not thousands of investors trying to buy it. I do know people in that area that do specialize in very, very, flips like this, like a foreclosures. But like they tell me, they go, listen, people in multi-million-dollar houses in foreclosure are very difficult. They always think they have an outlet where they can just hit this magic money machine and they're going to fix it. And there's nothing you can do to fix that. So here's what I can do. If you ever get close to like connecting with a deal, that's a type of property you'd want to pair up with someone locally that can help you take it down. and work the deal. So because it's like those guys are not going to let you float a contract too long. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a different level of wholesaling. Now, I do work with someone in California that does specifically these types of deals and can write a check for $2 million for like anything. They got to leave some equity in it, make it go from there. Has he discussed any numbers with you?
No, we haven't gone there.
Okay. So if you want, if you got to show some sort of progress in the deal, because you have to get some sort of rapport or connection.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you right now, Jack, if you could get him to like get some sort of commitment to do like a meeting or do like a 3-way conversation, I could bring somebody in that could help you like take down this deal. You could share in the money. I'd let you guys work out a deal because I'm just not, I don't know enough about California to take it down a deal like that. And even if it's got like value or anything like that, but you're saying there's a ton of equity in it. Did he share any numbers with you? What he'd be looking to walk away with?
No, not yet. I found the property on PropStream, and like I said, he only has like 30,000 left on the mortgage, and he's like, I want to get a loan for that. So with that many pre-foreclosures already, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, he's not. So is the house vacant?
It is.
Okay. So do me a favor and go to support at Flip with Rick. Send me your info. And if you want to put like an address in there, I'll keep it private. And I'll talk to someone I've done a lot of business with. And they'll tell me like, Rob, but like the problem is you have to get some sort of connection. He's just not going to be magically be able to penetrate the fort. So what I would do is work on going forward is just see if you can make a connection with him. Remember, people sell you houses because they like you. Like they're like, okay, Jack, he's trying to help me out. I like him. And if you could pair up someone who had the money to get it done and the skills and the expertise, and by the way, this person has the same amount of years I've been doing it. That's how long I've known them, and they're not too far away from it. So if you can email me that, and let me see what I can do. But in the meanwhile, you gotta like I will promise you when this person reaches out to you, they're going to ask you, what is the tone of conversation, and tell me the details. And if you put that person on the phone and they get lit up, like I'm only selling it for top retail with a realtor in this. Let me ask you, you said there was 2 other people in the deed. One passed away. And who's the other person?
It was the husband is the person who originally got the mortgage. He recently passed away, and now his wife is taking care of the house. And so the guy who I was talking to, he's not part of that family, but he is partially owning. He's the guy that popped up on PropStream. Yeah.
So your job, Jack, is to figure out this story amongst the 3.
Yeah.
Because here's the reality. If 2 want to sell and 1 says absolutely not, you're probably wasting your time.
All right.
Okay. I know 1's passed away, so that's a simple legal maneuver through probate. So can you get consent of 2 people to sell that house? Yes or no? And the question is, do they want top retail? And do you have any idea what the condition of it being vacant?
No, I don't know necessarily how long it's been vacant for.
So how far away from the house are you physically?
I would say hour and a half at most.
Okay. So here's the deal. Send me your information and I'll have someone connect with you if they want to do it. And then your job, honestly, you got to provide as much intel as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And it's not just data, guys. Like I can't tell you for the longest time. I've had family do this to me, right? They go, hey, Rick, I found a house. It looks suspect. It looks like a house you would buy. Can I just give you the address and you pay me? No. It doesn't work that way. Wholesaling is about connecting with sellers and creating a relationship with them. And then they sell to you. It's not, if it was just data, all big companies would take us over and you and me would not be sitting here talking today. So whatever you can do to make progress between the time you get off this live and then would make a tremendous impact on this person working with you. You're talking about like if you could work out, it'd be a 6-figure payday. Now, even if you take it, I want you to think of, well, every deal I deal is 100 grand plus, so I don't have to go through the journey Rick did. I'm just here to tell you, you're going through it one way or the other.
Yeah.
So can you get with him and get more information from him is my question.
Yeah. Later today, I definitely can. I was actually going to, after this live, I was going to text him and be like, hey, this is kind of the information I found out, and then get the numbers of the other people.
So you're going to start saying, listen, I spoke it over with my partner. And it's something we're interested in. We have the funds ready for it. Can you share any more information on the property? And I would go specifically over the 3 people on the deed. One's passed away. So be gingerly with that and find out if you're going to have consent with 2, and just find out if you're an idea what they're looking to get and the condition of the house. And if that makes sense, you move forward. If it doesn't, you just move on to the next deal. So many of you guys spend time trying to analyze deals that just don't work. I'm here to tell you, here's a reality. 90% of your deals, they won't work. If they do, you're doing the business completely wrong. Okay? That 10% will pay you all the money you want in wholesaling. If you try to do 100%, you're what we call a realtor. And remember, but you're a realtor who's actually trying to contract properties with your money or other people's money, and it is a recipe for disaster. You don't want to be that. So I would get as much information and just be like the friendly person and find out about the 3 people and find out what they need to get. If that adds up, you could get some people really excited to work with you on this. And because it's a multi-million-dollar deal, I know people that like work with that. I would do it. I just don't do California, so I don't know what the exit strategy is. But I know he just did he does a lot of them. So I'm actually going to be over there meeting up with him. So send me that email. Just support at Flip with Rick and see what we can do. And then I will tell you, by the time this person talks to you, they're going to ask what I just asked you. And if you don't have an answer, they're just like, listen, have a great day, Jack. It was nice knowing you. It just, remember, they're not trying to teach for free or doing. They're trying to put a deal together. And that's what you got to understand. If you don't bring value to the table, they're not going to waste their time. Because remember this, when you bring in a JV partner, especially a highly experienced person, honestly, if I get 50 deals submitted to me, 1 or 2 work out at best. And that's with me telling you guys exactly what I'm looking to do. Okay. Now take people who don't vet or anything. It's usually 200 to 300 deals before you find one. So they're going to do the same thing that you're going to do with your sellers. And you got to bring the value and bring it. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. The worst thing you do is start out relationship on like, I have no information for you. Yes, I called them twice. I'm done. They don't want to work with you. They're going to like, listen, I'll give you $5,000 to get out of the way. That's what I would do if you don't want to do any of the work, because that's all it's worth to me. So go make that connection. And guys, if I want you to hear this, when people tell you, hey, listen, I found a property, or like so many people think wholesaling is just finding a piece of data on like a house and that's all you have to do. No. How you and me make money is we connect with these people. We don't convince them to sell. We form a relationship, and when they decide to sell, we're the best person for it. So you got it, dude. Like, go get the information on those 3 people. And then you can provide that information in a connection with an experienced person. Oh my God, dude, you can make a ton of money on that.
All right. Well,
you got it. You got to dig deeper, man. You got it.
Yeah.
Just keep digging. Guys, this business, at the end of the day, the real estate is just a byproduct of what human problems. That's all it is. So the real estate is the math. It's your algebra. And here's the really cool part. If you fell asleep in algebra like I did, it's okay. You got smarter people to do that for you. You're being paid to develop that relationship. Okay. And I'm telling you, if the guy is on a foreclosure list, you're probably not the only person he's talking to. So time is so urgent for you right now. Okay. Right. But honestly, guys, if you're going to do like multi-million-dollar deals, I would go in like, listen, you definitely need a partner to know what you're doing, because they're a little bit more advanced sellers. So get on the phone, get that stuff done. Send me the email. And just put, do me a favor, just put on the subject line Jack in like bold letters, so I know it's you.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Okay. Update me and make sure you put all your contact information on there. So
I will. Thank you, man.
Okay, Jack. Awesome. So you guys hear that? Is you have to solve problems. So he's found a problem. Now you got to solve it. And honestly, the real estate is just a byproduct of problems humans have. And you've got to understand that. Like, so if you don't understand how to value the real estate, but you're good at connecting with motivated sellers, you can make a ton of money. If you can master how to do the contracts and everything else, which we teach you 100% at freewholesaling.com, so you don't have to worry about it. Guys, it's a game changer. So I will tell you, the first 6 months I did wholesaling, all I did was find motivated seller. I was clueless in what I was doing. And honestly, if I spent and then I watched other people that I was not. So I used to go, that's how old I am. I'm going to show my age. the only way I could connect with people, because we didn't have social media back then, is I go to local RIA groups. And then I'd watch people like literally with a notepad just like this, and they just sit there and crunch numbers. Guys, don't be the mathematician. Be the person that wants to connect with a relationship. That's the skill set in wholesaling that will make you completely free with your time and your money. So with that being said, Kalen's coming on, man. Is it Kalen?
Hey, yes, it is.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Rick. How are you?
Good, man. Have we talked before?
We have not talked before, but I have talked to Zach.
Okay. So I got like the old man thing going on. So I'm not the best with like names and faces. So if you guys get on here and I ask, we talked, I'm asking for clarity to see if we can expand on something. So Zach has like this photogenic mind. He can talk to 500 people and he knows all their names. I'm dead serious on this. It freaks the heck out of me. I can talk to 2 people and I got to hear a name like 10 times. So like my biggest pet peeve is when people pronounce my last name wrong. It drives me nuts. So it's like, so I try to take the time to at least pronounce the name right. And even if I butcher it. So how can I help you out, man?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Rick. You did say my name right as well. So
okay, well,
yeah.
good. It's always a good shot. You know what ticks me off the most, guys? Do you ever have like a customer service rep and you go, yes, my name is Rick Ginn, and you have to go through this ridiculous verification, and they go like this, okay, Mr. Ginn. I go, listen to me. Listen to me one more time. It's Ginn. It's G, like, and I keep going on and on. And it's like, it drives my wife nuts. I go, I just like, they'll say your name wrong 5 times in a row. I'm like, you know what? I go, I don't think you're paying attention to me. And I don't think you're about to hear what I'm about to say. If you can't get my name right, can you get someone on the phone that will at least listen to me? Okay, Mr. Ginn, let me get you a supervisor. And am I the only one? It's like drives me nuts. Like, listen, I don't like these companies. Like, it just like, I get it. Everyone's outsourcing, everything's automated, but it's like, it is like, that's a little tip, guys. So if you have like a tricky name a little bit and you tell them, like, it's okay to butcher it the first time, but the second time, I'm going to warn you, the third time we're throwing down.
I'm going to war.
You know, because what it tells you is they're not listening to you. They're so into their script, and so many wholesalers do it. So many coaching programs, they're so focused on the script. They're not listening what sellers are saying. He says, listen, you just butchered my name. I'm going to ask you if you do it again, it's like an insult. So
right.
I've always taught my kids, it ticks Zach off, like your family name is your family name. You always have to represent it. And if someone's going to butcher it and you remind them like 3 times, I'm done. Like I won't even buy from that company anymore. It's crazy. So anyways, that's my pet peeve. I kind of keep it fun and real here. So
that's
what can I help you out with today?
I like it. Yeah, so my questions are a little bit more basic. I just started at the beginning of the month.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we're doing good so far. I'm kind of running on faith into the darkness. I feel like almost with the dialing.
Okay.
So I had a couple questions. I'm calling some probates in my area, and the first question I had was in regards to the paperwork or the process of probate, and at what point the seller can actually begin, the process of selling the home, because I've talked to people and they say we don't have the title yet. Yeah. So they don't even kind of want to go into the situation.
Okay. So stop right there. I'll help you out. What state are you in? I'm
in Wisconsin.
Okay. Oh boy. I love Wisconsin. So I know so many people across the country. It's in Wisconsin, like some of my favorite wholesalers live there. So you're in a really good place. Number one. Number two, the important thing with probate, the problem is there's almost 3,600 counties in the United States. I mean, every county is different. So the problem is I can't study 3,600 counties. Like I have to deal with the 5 to 7 I deal with in the markets I do. And then some of the virtual ones, we don't even do it because we have such a difficult time not knowing the local way to do it. So number one is get to know your probate rules, laws, whatever you want to call them, statutes. Okay. They're all public record. It's actually really easy in most states. A long time ago, I created a product. I don't own it for full disclosure anymore. I put the whole dang thing in there. I spent a lot of money doing it. I sold the rights to it. I don't do it. It was PPS. Guys, Do not message me if you pay for it. Don't ask me for a refund. I don't get any of the money. Okay. I have to honor it. It's one of I gotta tell you, it went so deep in the probates, is, in my opinion, probably the greatest course ever. And there's things I assured in writing that I had to keep, I couldn't duplicate. So we all make business decisions. I'll let you know when it expires. It's a few years away, but and I sold it like it was a really cheap product, but it's still out there. If you guys decide to buy it, it's cheap. I don't get the money, so stop messaging me if you want to refund me. I don't sell it. My name's on it. It's one of those deals. It's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger having his name on a restaurant, but he doesn't, like, they just bought the name. So it's my product. I said, and my stipulation is they never change it because I know it was good, because they're going to ruin it. What you have to do is dive into your probate laws and understand the entire process. I will tell you this. I started with Florida. I know about 9 or 10 other states I've done probates in. A probate is a legal process which you enter in to make sure the deceased's final wishes are carried through. The reality is dead people can't sign deeds. So you have to have a legal authority to do it. Here's how most probates work. And I'm going to give you mostly Florida and how majority of states work. Is when someone passes away, a petitioner gets a lawyer, and they basically file to open up a probate. Not every property goes through probate, guys. So by using the listrei.com, the pre-probate, you catch all the properties that actually never go in the probate or get taken out of probate. And like,
really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Two, I knew nothing about probates when I did it, so I decided to go in just dumb blinded. So I went down to my local courthouse and I learned the entire process. So look at it as like going to school and go, listen, explain it to me like a layman's terms. Now you can get most of this information online. If you want to do your local markets, understand how they do everything. So a petitioner files, and they you 98% of them have to be done with a lawyer. The ones that are done per se, which means the person files it themselves, they're a complete disaster, and it's going to cost you a lot of time. So you always want an attorney to file it. Once they file it, the court will then they do the paperwork and they make a motion to appoint what they call a PR, a personal representative, or an executor, depending on what state you're in. Guys, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm a wholesaler telling you how to work probates. Right. You don't need to know all the laws. You just need to understand the ones that pertain to properties. Right. Once that person's appointed, the PR, the executor, they have the legal, listen to me clearly on this, because this is all you need to understand. They have the legal authority to enter into any agreements in regards to that estate, including the house. Okay. If you wait till the end of probate, you are going to wait for all the competition waiting for you at the end. Okay. Right. So I simply came up. This is the one I came up. I simply came up with a catchphrase that said, listen, if I could show you how to sell your house and cut through the red tape, is that something you're interested in talking to me about? It's like, yeah, my God. Here's where they get their information. All lawyers, listen to me, all lawyers, 100% of lawyers I've ever met, tell them they can't sell the property till the probate's done. It's a 100% flat out lie. Go talk to a judge and ask him. That's what I did. The judge says, no, they can do it. What happens is, what's the biggest asset people own when they die? Usually
the house.
The house, right? So what happens when someone's died? What if it takes 6 months to 2 years to finalize a probate? Who takes care of the house? The PR does. And the PR is like, I didn't sign up for this, man. I'm mowing the lawn. I'm paying the utilities. There's a mortgage payment. You got to be kidding me. I have to make the mortgage payment. I got to pay the insurance. I got to winterize the house. I got to keep the air running in the summer. So basically, to alleviate this situation, a lawyer can simply file a motion to liquidate the asset for the betterment of the estate, right?
Right.
Hear me out. So say they were getting $100,000 for the house. They sold it to you. You get the house. Guess what you can do with the house? You can do whatever you want. Wholesale it, do whatever you want. That $100,000 now goes into an estate account for the estate of John Doe. And then when the probate's finalized, that money gets dispersed.
Right.
The key is they stop bleeding and they don't have to use brain power to figure out what's going on with that house. What's going on right now? Real estate's listen, the handwriting's on the wall. It's going to go stagnant. It's going to go sideways. It ain't going to crash, guys. Like, I'm not a predictor of it. That's just my opinion. And I've been wrong in the past. But so if people have anxiety, the market's kind of like flipping up a little backward, they probably like want to get rid of the house as well too.
Right.
Most of them are programmed by lawyers. And I have a lot of friends who are lawyers. That lawyers aren't bad, but like the lawyers do it to try to protect them. They think everyone's going to take advantage. The reality is most of the lawyers will tell them to go get an appraisal, go get a realtor.
So
And guess what they get on the back end? They get a little piece of that action of all of it. So the key is if they're the designated PR, the executor. See, I get excited when I talk about this. So gotta pay attention. I love probates. Is they have the legal authority to enter into an agreement with you. Once you sign that agreement, you're in control. You're not. You and the seller are in control, not the lawyer.
Right.
Why does the lawyer not want them in an agreement? Because the lawyer wants to be in control. Why?
Right.
I can charge them more. I can control it. I can drag it on. So, because I get lawyers fight me all the time. And then, so I use a lawyer to tell the other lawyer what to do. I don't even do it anymore because lawyers, they're not big fans of me. Although I pay them a ton of money. So we simply, once we have it on contract, I just say to the seller, like, you want to sell this now or do you want to wait? I'll give them the option. I'm not here to force it. Some people have problems letting go. Like, if you've ever had like a parent die or something, it's tough, man. All their stuff's in there. And like, I respect that. But if they're like, dude, I just want to be done with this.
Right.
Like, okay, we can get it sold. The money's actually going to go in an account for you, but it'll be there for you. And there'll be no more expenses taken out.
Right.
Okay. Lawyers in some states, they charge like property management fees. We recently did a case where they tried to charge an extra $20,000 for property management.
Oh
my guy went out to the house. He goes, the house is destroyed. I'm like, how can it be destroyed? They charge 15 grand. They just build it. Nobody ever looked at the house. So what's the key, Galen? If you can get a contract with the PR or executor and they have the legal authority, they're basically the seller of the house. That's all you need to understand as a wholesaler. And honestly, if you want to know how to navigate in your state, I would work with a local title company, possibly owned by an attorney, and they'll tell you, hey, ask your seller to have the lawyer file this type of motion. Okay. That's it. We're not paying for the lawyer. I don't get involved in it unless I'm actually funding the probate, but that's it. So your hook line, guys, is when you're dealing with probates, and you can write it in your letter, is basically saying, listen, what if I could tell you could sell your house before the probate's even over? Is that something we can talk about? Well, how would you do that? Well, what's a good time we can talk and meet and kind of do it with like that? That was my hook. That's why I've been massively successful in probates. And then if you take the time and actually care for people and like respect them, I've had people absolutely cry. I've bought houses where they go, I can't even walk in the house. Right. And then we've like packed their stuff up and go, listen, we had one recently. It was the end of last year. There was a beautiful, like old fashioned, like 40s or 50s military uniform, all like in a sleeve. He's like, we're done with everything. I'm like, we can't throw that away. We can't throw it away. It's like not the honorable thing to do. And she's like, man, you have like really gone. She goes, can you ship it over? I'm like, yeah, it cost us like $100 to do it, but we did it. And that's the difference, guys. That's how you get massive connection with people. And like most wholesalers are like, they just throw it away. I can't let an American flag sit on the ground. It's just in my DNA because I respect the people that have sacrificed for our country. Number two, there's a story behind anybody who passes away. And you and me are both going to have a story when that day comes. And I hope someone will pay it forward when they do that. So you kind of get where I'm going at with that. But you got to understand 100%. And master your probate statutes in your area and just understand the lingo. So some states call them PR, some call them executors, and it's like, why do we have all these different like names? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, when I was looking through the government records, there's different names listed and stuff like that, like heir.
So you know what the heir is, right?
That's the children, right?
Yeah. So the heir is just a technical legal term for the people that are going to benefit from the final will of the. So like if the house is $100,000 and there's 4 heirs, they should all get $25,000 if that's how the will is written.
Right.
Okay. And the complication in probate comes when people die without a will. It can get tricky quick. It can get real tricky. It's like
a bunch of people claiming it, right?
It's easier. Most older people have a will and they prepare for it.
Mhm.
When younger people die, it is tough. It's just like it's a real challenge. And I always just say, listen, when you guys ready to come to a decision, let me know.
Right.
And I don't push on like young people because you got to have a heart. But like older people, like they pretty much spell it out, and I stay away from. So the main thing is, guys, when you talk to the PR or the executor, you have to be loyal to them, because
Right.
the heirs sometimes will try to train wreck you. And
Mhm.
remember, the PR is the one that's going to make the final decision. So
Right.
I used to market to the heirs. I stopped doing it because the drama is out of control. So
Right.
does that answer your question with the probates? I know it's a little bit long-winded,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I get
Yeah. Wow.
excited with probates.
No,
The
it's
key,
good. It's
the
always good to
key for
hear.
marketing with probates is telling them that you can take it down before the probate's done. And then they're going to go
That
like this.
that's the key right there, because I
My
feel like they feel
lawyer
that
told
urgency.
me, my lawyer told me, I go, no, I need a judge to tell me. And
Mhm.
how do you find that out? You can go in and read it. And honestly, if you don't want to read, like I'm not a lawyer, I don't want to like read through all that technical. Go down to your probate court. They usually have a person like basically with customer service, and just talk to them. Have you ever seen somebody sell a house before the probate's done? They'll tell
Right.
you they deal with thousands of cases. She says, "Oh, all of the time, you're good. I want you
Right.
to verify it before you start making that commitment out there." And I have had heated debates with lawyers saying you're wrong. I'm like, dude, you went to law school, and I'm
Right.
like telling you what the law is. I'm like, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm telling you, I've done over 200 of them this way.
Right. Right.
So do you want the case number? And I'll show you the motion. And I'm working on a deal right now. It's so bad. It's so bad. They're working now to disbar the lawyer. It was so bad.
Wow, I was just thinking that. I was like, "What's you got? What
So
you
bad
pull out
because
the
it's
bar
like
exam, Rick?" It's like I
control.
passed the bars, man.
Comes control. And guys, as wholesalers, we control stuff, but when stuff gets like wacko or like people threat, like there's most of the deals I like, unless someone has really taken advantage of me or someone's just trying to steal a deal, I just walk away. Like you can do so many other deals. It's not people who say they're going to sue you are not the ones you got to worry about. It's the quiet ones that go away.
It's
And that's what
quiet.
you got to understand. So you're on track with the probates, but we all just make assumptions because lawyers tell their clients that, and that's all they know. Let me ask you, why does one probate cost $15,000 and then you and me can do a probate for $1,500? Why?
Right. Right.
So probate's really, here's the thing, without a will, people have to go to court and testify, and it's expensive.
Right.
So when you don't have a will, it just lets you know you're going to have some obstacles. The problem is then anybody in the family can make a claim on the property, and it's up to the judge to make a decision. They have to testify with lawyers, and there's deposit. It's just expensive. So I've done a property with 26 heirs. I've done it with one. I will tell you this: when you have 4 or more heirs in a probate, heed the warning because it can get challenging quick.
Right.
So there's
Yeah.
nothing like getting 3 out of the 4 to agree, and the 4th one's like, no way, I'm keeping the house. So sorry.
That's mine.
And they're like, he can't keep the house. He can't even keep his lights on.
Right.
And like we deal with this all the time. And then once you get like around 5 or 6, it's really hard to get people to make a decision. Like it's just like, so at one point I stopped marketing to people that were anything over 4. Once I had 5, I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just because I had to talk to 5 people. I spent hours with each one. It was just exhausting.
Right.
This is when I did it myself, by the way. So,
Right.
so did that help you out with probates?
Yeah, 100%. And then I had two quick questions. Thank you very much
Go ahead.
for that. Very informative. So right now my question is in regards to pulling lists. Now this is government lists versus PropStream lists, because I understand you can pull, for example, I can pull my probate list in my own state, but I also see you can pull lists on PropStream. And then I'm wondering about the timeline, because I can pull from my state, I can pull like a certain timeline. At first I pulled like everything within the last 2 weeks, and then I was like, wow, I kind of called through it kind of fast. And
So let's back up here, Kaylin. How long have you been doing wholesaling now?
I started on 5/9, so
Okay.
May 9th.
So what I want you to do is back up.
Mhm.
Have you gone all through freewholesaling.com, or you're working your way through it?
I am working my way through it. I've consumed quite a bit of content before I found you guys, but I'm currently in the course right now.
Okay. So it's kind of like golf. When someone teaches you a really bad swing, even if you paid for it,
Mhm.
sometimes it's a pain in the butt to correct.
Right.
Like if you ever had like a bad baseball swing, golf swing, free throw shot, like sometimes it's easier if you just go back. Okay, let me go back to ground zero.
Right.
Most people complicate this business. You're kind of all over the board on that stuff. So you have to start with a basic marketing plan.
Right.
Okay. The only way you can start with a marketing plan is you have to have a budget, and you got to
Right.
be realistic about it. You got to say, listen, I have X amount of dollars.
Mhm.
Are you doing this by yourself, or is anybody helping you out?
I am doing it by myself. Yes.
So come up with a number,
Hmm.
and then you have to reverse engineer it. Okay.
Mhm.
So then once you do that, if you decide to use PropStream through listarei.com, it's wonderful. We use it in our business. We've been using it a long time. I had to use CoreLogic, which was basically a list source, which was brutally expensive. I mean, thousands of dollars every month. The
Really?
fact that, guys, it's $97 a month still to this day blows me away. Like, you have no idea how beautiful it is. Now, within that, do you know how many leads you get with that per month with your $97?
With the 97, 10,000 pulls on
There you
PropStream.
go. So you
Yeah.
got 10,000 sitting there. So you have to harvest the 10,000 first because you're already paying for them. Okay.
Right. I haven't purchased it yet. So that's the thing is I did come up with my budget. And it's one of those things where, I don't have a big budget, it's a couple stretches, a couple months for the things I have budgeted for, but
so I just want you to understand, if you're going to use PropStream, that's the best way to do it.
best way to
10,000,
do it.
like so many people buying this, like I got to have like 50,000 leads because I went to this seminar where they just crash. Dude, I promise you it was a weekend seminar,
Mhm.
and you have no idea if that person's even making them. Honestly, that business model worked for about 3 years.
Mhm.
Do you know what it cost you to run 50,000 pieces or 100,000 pieces of data a month with skip tracing everything? You're going to have to do 15, 20 deals, and you're
That's
not
a lot,
equipped to do
yeah.
it by yourself. So you got to come up with a budget. Okay. So take $97 if you decide to go that route. It's not required. Okay.
Right.
And then you got to decide, am I going to door knock them? Am I going to SMS them? Am I going to cold call them? How am I going to skip trace the number? And you got to include that all in your budget. You got to do this before you start doing it. Otherwise you get all over the board. I've been there, dude. And then the next part of it is, then you got to look at, if you're on a limited budget, go, okay, that's it. Zach and Rick are going to teach me for free. Let me ask you, what are the 2 top lists to do that are free?
Government lists, so probates.
Probates are cheap. They're not
Yeah.
free, but they're cheap.
Okay, so you said
What's the one you're overlooking? The biggest one, guys. Put it in the comments.
driving for dollars.
They are. I'm telling you, driving for dollars is the fastest path to get a deal without doing all this stuff.
I called driving for dollars today. He was my first yes, man. I have an appointment next Wednesday.
Okay, so the idea is, okay, let me get my first 3 deals, and then anything past PropStream, then I'll set aside 25% of it, and start then you can spend some money, do some cold calling. So you have to create a budget first, okay? And the idea is, once I get 3 deals, then we're going to relook at that budget. Maybe we're going to rip it up and step it up a little bit more.
Right.
It's up to you to decide that. Some people listen, if you got to pay your rent, go out, door knock, get it going, whatever you got to do. I'm not here to I'm doing my part for free. So you got to do the work with it. Driving for dollars is, all you guys do is go out and you collect ugly houses that don't look right, and you get massive lists. When I used to struggle, when I had a lot of employees, and I sometimes I'm like, dang it, we got to get this done. I put everybody in their car. I'd give them a yellow pad, and everybody, I said, don't come back here unless you got 100 addresses on there. And whoever gets a deal with that, I'm going to give $1,000 bonus with it. And boom, everybody disappeared out of the office. I don't recommend doing it, but you can do it yourself. Once you have them, and you start. Remember, you're starting from 0, and you're trying to go at 100 miles an hour. You got to load. You got to go heavy. You got to find as many leads as possible. Driving for dollars is one of the best ways. Right. Also, we teach you about reverse driving for dollars. Extremely effective. You can utilize that doing your government list. Your government list are code violations, tax delinquencies, probates, whatever you need to do. Honestly, I would start with the basic list first. I would probably use listarei.com because it's not a lot of money. And honestly, some of those lists in there are really good. and you get 10,000. It doesn't mean you have to skip trace everyone. I mean, you go drive by the house, put a little sticky note on the door. All you need is one deal from it to make you an extra 10, 20, 30, or 50K. Don't let $97 trip you up. Honestly, it's going to be one of the most minor expenses you ever have in this business. I promise you it's cheaper than any employee you're ever going to hire.
Right.
So you got to look at, sometimes you guys got to look at like PropStream, or if you're using Batch with ZachData.com, that's your employee. That's honestly, that stuff would have cost you $3,000 7 years ago. And now you get $97. And let me like, $97. I'm like, dude, you didn't pay me a dime. So just pretend you paid me $5,000 and then just take the $1,000, whatever you're going to spend for the year. And then the rest of it used towards marketing. That's how I look at it. Okay. Third question, Kayla. I got to help out some others.
And then, yes. So the last question.
Does that help you out, spell out your list?
Yes.
You got to have a plan or you're going to be all over the board.
Right. I'm right there with you.
So you ever play sports?
I did. I was a wrestler and a track runner.
Okay. So I was a high school wrestler. Zach was a wrestler, but like you got to have a plan. Like every opponent, you got to have a plan. If you play football, you got to have an offensive and a defensive strategy. If not, you're just going to like, let's go out there and see what happens. You're going to get killed.
Yeah.
And here, spell it out, put it on a spreadsheet and look at it. And then you adapt as you go forward. Every time you do a deal, like, okay, when I get the 3 deals, I'm not going to, and don't change what you do until you get like your 3 deals.
Right.
And put like 50K in the bank and then go, okay, now I got something to work with here. Right. I'm telling you that when people screw up wholesaling, it's when they just go, okay, now I'm going to throw money at everything. I'm like,
oh, Rick,
what's that?
My phone's dying, Rick. I love you, man.
Okay, what's the last one? Okay. I'll see you, Kevin. No. Okay. Rissa, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Good. I killed Kaylin's phone, so.
Oh, great. Awesome. I'm glad you called me. Thank you so much.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right. How's the weather there today?
It is actually, we got some rain going on here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but other than that, it's good.
Awesome.
Good.
What can I help you out with today?
You know what? I've been following you for probably about 3 weeks, and what made me start following you is I was one of those people that got beat by one of those gurus. I was able to get my money back, which was $3.
Okay, just do me a favor. Don't use names because
okay, I would never use names. I do understand.
No, I know, but it's
okay. Well, to go beyond that, I am actually one of the things that I was able to do is I was able to actually follow the PPS, and I've been also in the wholesaling free class. So I've been following little by little because my thing is, if you don't have, like you were just speaking about, if you don't have a plan together, you're kind of all over the place. And I like to be organized. So, one of the things I did is following that PPS is they talk about like building a team of where the actual your team is the attorney, the title company, and the realtor. And I had went through, so I think that's like maybe step 4, and I think it states on there like don't come back until you have the probate list. And it took me actually 3 weeks to get that probate list. I actually sent a letter to one of the commissioners. You told me. I mean, it tells you on there how to basically get it. So I actually sent a little note, and I got it like within a couple hours. So I'm able to actually pull the probate list. They actually showed me, and I'm so surprised. But here's the thing, Rick.
Yeah.
There's another video out there where I actually seen you pull from PropStream's the probate list. Would you say the list from the city courthouse would be better than the PropStream?
So you're probably talking about the pre-probates within PropStream, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So here's the difference. The best data is always going to come from your local county, like hands down, because that's where the family goes and files the legal paperwork. It is they own the information.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is a secondary source. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody understands all your information when it comes to like legal documents, stuff like that, it's always going to derive from your county. So if you can get it from your county, it's always the best. There's challenges. As I said, there's over 3,600 counties.
Mm-hmm.
I can't study them all and like give everybody a cheat sheet. I wish I could, but that would be my full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that information is the best. And if you have success with it, go with it.
Okay.
People like to use the pre-probates within PropStream because every property doesn't actually go into probate. Sometimes they're in a trust. Like in the state of Florida, if I'm not getting to like the legal part of it, but I am, is if you have like a joint tenants with the rights of survivorship, you can actually file a petition. It's a summary of administration to take that property out of probate. And it's just a notification, and it comes out really quickly. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it in the docket. And so pre-probate, so like trust, there's certain things that are set up. They don't have to go through probates, but somebody still died. And a lot of times that's an opportunity to help people out and get the house sold. So the pre-probates is a good sweep. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do it every month. We do it once or twice a quarter. But like that really is designed. Here's the truth of how it's designed. Hats off to PropStream because they're the only ones I know that do it. It's for the real estate investor who just wants to get started, that doesn't want to go to a courthouse. They don't want to do any of that stuff. They're a one-man or one-woman army, and they go, listen, what's the fastest way I can get the probates? Let me just give it a shot right now. It's like a wide open blanket list. It's kind of like a shotgun approach. It's not perfect, but I'm telling you, we've gotten deals off that stuff we wouldn't get at the courthouse. The problem is, if you do them both, you're kind of cross-pollinating. So you have to kind of decide which way you want to do it. You know, maybe twice a year you pull that pre-probate and just hit them up, you know. But I wouldn't do it every month and do the courthouse. It's number one, it's too much work. And number two, you're just going to be like all over the board. So whichever one fits your style. But remember, the courthouse stuff, you're getting that information immediately. If they file the day before and you get it online or there, you got first shot at it. And that's the advantage of it. The stuff that's going to go through a third-party data service like PropStream or Batch or any of them, you're going to be behind the ball 30 to 60, if not 90 days. And you gotta understand that. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I wanted to say, I was not, I would have never known what to actually say if I would have never studied the information that you had provided for me. So I was really laughing. I was like,
no, that product I created a long time ago, there was no like pre-probate. So it doesn't even speak of it because it's more of a technology thing. So pre-probates within PropStream, all it does is take someone that owns a property in that county and there's a death certificate for that person. That's it. That's all you got. Now, I will tell you that just points you in the direction where there could be opportunity. And so many people go, well, Rick, that list isn't perfect. No, it's not. The vacant list isn't perfect either. So they have like a vacant list. So the neat thing about PropStream is you got the vacant list, you got the pre-probate list. And honestly, if like I'm getting started, I'm just trying to talk to as many people as I can, right? So like, if you don't want to go through all that work and go down to the courthouse, it's actually a good point. A lot of people go, well, $97 for listaria.com. Like, that's a lot of money. I go, how much do you think an employee costs? It costs you thousands of dollars per month. $97 is like having an army going out there and working for you. I used to pay $3,000 a month for all this information. We get $97. And guys, I actually have a subscription. That's why I recommend it. I honestly, I use it. That's why we teach it. We're comfortable with it. We use it in our business. I used it for years before I even recommended it. I'm like, okay, let me see if this is going to work. And people who know me, that's like how nobody calls me up. Hey, can you pitch this? I'm like, I don't do that. I don't have a coaching program. I don't need you to do that. So what else you got?
Okay, so with the attorney, the title company, and the realtor being in place, can I actually start without that being in place? I did speak with a title company today, and I was able to get that in place. but the attorney, I went out there, I wasn't able, I went through, like, you know how you go out there, and I think you could get like a free consultation to see if the attorney will fit, if
Yeah.
you, yeah. So I did that today. So I mean, it's like, I'm at the point that that's the only thing is actually, I don't know if that would be the only thing that's stopping me, because I don't have the attorney and I don't have the realtor in place. Do I need that in place before I can start?
Affirmative. No, Rissa. Is it Rissa or Risa?
It's Rissa.
Okay, Rissa. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like R-I, like Rick. So we're on the same page here. Is your last name really Love?
No, actually, that Rissa Love is my grandbaby.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My name is Diane.
Okay, that's fine. So I want you to know, like, I just we're gonna put PPS to bed here. Is the idea was to go extensively to teach you how to really. I gotta tell you guys, for 2 years, I dove so deep in the probates and made so much money. Honestly, I almost stopped all my other wholesale operations because the average wholesaler in my area is making 5 to 10 grand, and I was making like 35 on, like, I'm like, well, why don't I just keep doing these? They're a little bit more energy, but like I had a lot of free time. So that's when I started exploring, like, the perfect life for me is work 5 hours a week and do what I really love. And probates really was the gateway, kind of like what was the gateway for me to get there. And that's why it's so successful. I will tell you, the highest skill set you'll always have in wholesaling is connecting with people. Okay. If you can prepare yourself along the way, great. I don't want you to sit there and meet with every person, get everything perfect before you go out and do a deal, because you're never going to do a deal. So what I need you to do is here's my question for you. Ready for this?
Yes.
How many people have you talked to in probate?
I haven't spoken with anyone. I just started the actual studying.
If I was your coach, or I was your mentor, or like I am for free anyways, because I'm here live with you. And and for the record, have I charged you anything? Have I asked you for a credit card? Am I backdooring you with some like crazy offer? No. Right?
No.
Okay. I would tell you, Rissa, is you need to start calling people and just having conversations. Okay. You're not going to be perfect at it. The title company is probably the most important part. Understanding your probates and talking to the attorney, and kind of in that order, is how I would take it down. That the product that you're looking at is a comprehensive, like, meaning, like, I always tell you, just start calling and talking to people, because Rissa, what happens if somebody asks you a question and you don't know the answer? What are you going to tell them on a probate?
One of the things I did, I have the actual script in front of me, and I have and I do have the objectives. So I'm kind of like prepared for that part of it. And I would like to say that, with a lot of the training and everything, it kind of prepares you for what to say.
Okay.
So does that make sense, Rick?
Correct. But listen, what if I ask you some complicated legal question, and I'm on the phone with a potential seller? How are you going to respond to it? And you don't know the answer. What are you going to say?
I'm going to say I'm going to have to consult my attorney.
My team.
You're
going to freak them out with an attorney, because they're already working with an attorney. See, remember, you got to make this very personable. So I can tell you're a personable person. You've got to take that God-given ability that makes you special. If you like, most people get into wholesaling because they actually enjoy connecting with people. So I'm hoping that's why you're here, especially with probates, because if you've ever had a family member pass away, or anybody, it's terrible. It's the most traumatic event I think you can go through in life. It's terrible. Nobody wants to do it, but it's life. And if you can be a compassionate, kind, caring, loving person and help guide them through it, that's your job. You're basically the guide to get them through it. I don't want you to go to law school. I don't want you to go get like bonded for a title company and all this. It would take you 20 years to do all this stuff. Just guide them. And they go, listen, when I don't know the answer, you know what? I go, but my partner, my team, let me get that exact information, because I want to give you really good information.
Thank you.
And just kind of keep moving forward with that conversation. Have you ever had a kid where you actually don't have the answer and you're like, I love you so much. I'm going to reach out to some good friends that really know this stuff. and we're going to figure a way to get you through it. So can you just give me like a couple hours here?
Oh, sure.
That's all you did. Most people in
Mhm.
probate, here's how I got so good. They lie to them.
Mhm.
Oh, no, that's perfectly normal. No, I get it all the time. It's complicated. I don't want to go through law school. I don't want to go get a title company. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to help you out. And if I got to wait for the deal, I'll wait for the deal.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to give you a little hard love here. You got to go out and start just contacting people, because
Okay.
that's the skill set you need to learn. And just remember, your highest and best skill set as a wholesaler is connecting with people.
Sure.
And that's where you put most of your energy. When you have spare time, oh, I'm going by the title company. Let me talk to them. So when I get a probate, I'm ready to go. Now, what happens is you call someone, they go, listen, I'm ready to go. I love what you're doing. I want to get rid of this house. Let's move forward.
Mhm.
What are you going to say?
I'm going to say, basically, give me a few hours. I'll get right.
Yes, absolutely. Let's work together. I would love to help you out. Let me just get some information for you, and I'm going to get with my team, put some paperwork together for you. What's the best time we can connect? So if you're meeting with them on the phone or you're meeting them in person, do not wait for all the answers, because you're not going to get them. It took me 5 years to completely understand probates. I'm honestly, I did 100 deals in my first year and a half. And if I waited till I had all the information, I'd probably still be waiting. And this is the biggest problem you see in wholesaling is people just, this is not like schooling. So we all went to traditional schooling. I wasn't the greatest student, okay? But you actually learn more by doing stuff and being taught. Let me ask you this. Would you go to a seminar as a kid to learn how to ride a bike? It's impossible. Like you can't.
I don't know.
Let me ask you, who taught you how to ride a bike?
I think it was my older sister.
Okay. And how much time did she put in with you?
As much time as I needed, because my mother said that she had to watch over me.
Okay. Were you scared?
I was scared, because they always made me they always put me up on this high horse, like, you better do it. You better do it.
And did you get some cuts and bruises doing it?
Yeah, I did get some on my legs, and I was crying.
Welcome to wholesaling. This is your $10,000 course. I'm telling you, you got to get cuts and bruises. You got to talk to people. And here's the thing is, they're not going to hurt you. And I love that you're studying and you want to be educated, but I'm here to tell you, in wholesaling and in business in general, you have to do first and learn as you go, because that's how you lock it neurologically to understand the concept. Okay. This is why I didn't do well in school. All I did was get seminars all day.
Okay.
And it's like when it got to it, I had to actually practice something. You got to do it. Let me ask you, do you think you could learn CPR in just a seminar format where you sat in a room with 300 people? You probably, what happens if someone fell down in front of you at CPR? I'd freak. Listen, I'm nervous about it all the time. I don't know how to do CPR, and I got to figure out how to do it. My daughter's a nurse, for God's sakes. I'm like, she's like, hey, you got to learn some classes. I'm like, you're right. Because if somebody fell down, I wouldn't know what to do. Now, I've watched programs, but that's not reality. And it's really challenging. It's a lot of training and doing it. So it's like, you have to just get on the bike and just start going, and you're going to fall a little bit. It's okay. And by the way, I don't want you just doing probates. I want you to go find some nice, ugly houses and just talk to people. The highest skill set in wholesaling is connecting with people. Well, the rest is nothing more than a math problem. That's it, guys.
Okay. Well, I do want to let you know that I do have another possible deal on the table.
All right.
This deal is basically, I went out and found a place, and the cash buyers is going to be meeting with the realtor this coming Sunday. But here is the thing. The realtor was not very educated when it comes to wholesaling. So they basically said to me that they did not want to use my contract. And the way they want to write it up is they want to write it up from agent to the cash buyer and kind of leave me out. So here's the good thing about that, Rick. I would, if I didn't know the cash buyer, which I know the cash buyer in this situation, so I don't have to worry about getting paid, there would be no way that I would allow this deal to go through, because the agent basically said to me in their own terms, I don't know why you're bringing me, I don't know why you bought me this deal, because I don't see where you're going to get paid. And I know it. I know, like, when being in being an investor, you got to have thick skin. And I said, okay, you know what? That's okay. This is a lesson that I learned. So this coming Sunday, like I said, the cash buyer is going to meet with the agent. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a nice deal, but I do want to let you know that I won't be going through the actual process of like assigning it to the actual cash buyer, because the realtor does not want that. So
No, I got it. So just, realtors is that's another nuance of like wholesaling, and I have to deal with it all the time because I deal with a lot of realtors. But it's listen, I just always look for the win-win situation, because the realtors, most of the realtors you deal with, at least with wholesalers, they just the reality is like, why should you make 10 grand when I'm only making like 2,000 on it? It's not fair. I get this all the time. I'm like, I don't know if your mama didn't tell you, life's not fair to begin with. You can't tell them that, but that's how you feel. And you have to just sugarcoat them and just like, okay, listen, most realtors at the end of the day, they want to know if they're getting paid their commission. That's all they care about.
Okay.
And that's it. So from a wholesaler side, if you can solve that and there's money in the deal and they're actually getting paid, that's all you got to solve with them. The rest of the stuff, let them feel like they won.
Okay.
Because you're never going to convince, not every realtor, but 98% of the realtors out there, you're never going to convince them like wholesaling's good. It's that you are the enemy. NAR has taught them we are the enemy. Like, just let them just move on. All you can be is a good person to them. And all I say, listen, you're getting your full commission. And they go, okay. That's what they usually say to me. Okay. Because they want to fight. And I like, if it's really bad, just don't do business with them and you move on. So
I won't be doing business with them, but I still wanted to leave it on it.
I know, you got to get the deal.
I gotta leave it on a good note.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, you have a wonderful Memorial weekend, and I love talking to you, and I hope to hear from you in the future, okay?
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Christian, you there? Oh, wait a minute.
There we go. Had it muted up.
Hello?
How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sully, hold on. You guys know I'm not like the technology department in my company, so it's like the fact that I even like run these controls is amazing. So just because you guys know, I don't have a crew of 5 people on the other side of this camera. It's just you and me. So it's I just try to keep this authentic and as real as I can. I don't understand why people got to have 10 employees to run like a live stream. It's very basic. You can shoot it from your phone. So how can I help you out, Christian?
Cool. Well, first off, thanks for doing all this, man. It's been life-changing. I haven't gotten a deal yet, but it's already got it.
So what are you doing, local or virtual or a combo?
So I'm trying to start out local.
Okay.
I've talked to one of my buddies. He's been doing it for about a year out in the Midwest.
Okay.
Which he's been doing good with that. And I decided to start local just because I know the area. I'm in Southern California, so it's a pretty high price area, but just like Jack that you talked to earlier, I'm in Riverside area.
Okay.
So basically my question was Wednesday, I actually talked to Zach and I decided to switch my process. I was going after vacant high equity places, which out here is a little crazy. And I've switched it now over to the smarter move of just going after government lists and driving around and stuff.
Okay.
Which I think will work in this area. Where I'm at, it's a very elderly area. So
okay,
I've looked around. Probates are pretty common.
Okay.
So one of my things that went along with that is how long would you go after a list that you have before you're just, this is a dead end, it's not going anywhere, let me change my strategy and move on to a different area or a different list?
I'll have a little bit of rules on, I treat probates a little bit differently than other lists. So if we're talking about like standard government lists, see, the old days, we recycled data based on the cost. Those obstacles are gone today. So with using listrei.com through PropStream and stuff, honestly, like you get 120,000 leads a month just for the basic service. And you got yourself, you're not going to utilize 120,000 on it, then just recycle the list as needed. Um, so in the old days, I would write an entire list for a year. It was expensive, Christian. It was thousands and thousands of dollars. Today, it's a whole new ball game. And honestly, for full disclosure, I repull the list. No, I never let them go more than 60 days, but like times have changed. The data is so cheap now, it doesn't really cost us any more money. And that's the only reason we do it. In a perfect world, you'd pull a fresh list every time. But now, and guys, understanding that like sometimes Zach and me's philosophy, he'll try anything. And that's what I love about him. And so I'm a little bit old school. So like Zach had to go, listen, what the hell are you doing that? Just pull the list. It's already included. And I'm like, no, we're not going to waste money. And like he walked me through it. It's like, listen, we're going to get better results. It's better. All we need is one extra deal. It's not costing us anymore. I'm like, okay, that's like sometimes you got to have people get out of your own way. So sometimes you got to look at your budget. If you don't want to exceed over, like if you only just want to do 10,000 a month, you can kind of work the numbers. In the old days, like 6 months was aggressive to change a list. It used to be a year, then 6 months. Then we went down to quarterly, honestly. So we rotate markets. So we're pulling a new list minimum once a quarter because it just the data just seems to change.
Right.
Now, when it comes to probates, I've already tried this, guys. You cannot go back in time. And like I thought I was so smart when I first did probates. I went and got like 6 months to a year's data. Dude, it bombed horribly. You know why? Because this is a terrible terminology, but it's 100% true. Speed kills in probate. First to the lead wins.
Mhm.
If you think you're going to catch the crumbs 6 months or a year later, because you're not. You're actually, they've been beaten to death. They don't care. And those are the people that typically are just going to keep the property or they're going to list it with a realtor. And I'm just, so like my probate list, they have to be 100% fresh, clean. At what point when I was doing a lot, and guys, I did a lot of probates. Like it's an astounding amount of number. People like, all I did was concentrate on it. We're at the courthouse 3 times a week. That's how fresh we got our data. So probates are different. Probates I wouldn't do a probate past 30 days. Now the question is, how often do you follow up with the probate? That's kind of up to your budget too. But if you're skip tracing them and you're warm calling them like we teach you to, once you have the data, it doesn't really cost you anymore. I keep them on there until they sell the house or they tell me to, F off. It's like I'm not going to sit here and call someone the crazy. And by the way, here's an example of how you got to open up. Sometimes we get older, we get set in our ways. I refuse to cold call in probates. And actually in my original product that I sold a long time ago in my probate course, I told people don't cold call. It's rude. Like, don't do it. Like someone just died. Like you're going to call them up. And guess what? I lost out on a lot of deals with that attitude. And I go, you know what? If I'm here to serve and help people, then it's okay. And I told anyone, so when I first did it, I taught Zach, and then we taught our acquisitions people and our sales people is when we get lit up on probates, we just kill them with kindness. God bless you. I hope you're the best. Go back. Terrible words that like should never be said to a human being. And you got to understand, like when somebody cuts you off in traffic, when someone's rude to you at the grocery store, we all have struggles, right, Christian?
Oh yeah.
So sometimes when you get older, you get a little bit better perspective. You're like, you know what? They got something going on in their life I don't know about, and I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So with
that kind of flowed into another question I had was how, because it is a touchy subject, right? When you're looking at probates or you're looking at foreclosures, anything like that, it's a touchy subject. How do you open up that conversation? How do you start that so it doesn't come off like a leech, basically trying to?
Okay, so when I first used to knock on pre-foreclosures, literally when I got a list and I go knock on the door. Somebody taught me this. I'm like, you kidding me? And they taught me a valuable lesson that action trumps any type of education you can ever have. Like, listen, I could sit here and teach you for the next 4 years to be the greatest wholesaler on the planet Earth. But if you can't go knock on those 50 doors, I don't even want to like give you the time of day. I'm like, This is somebody who charged like an incredible amount of money, and be honest, with you, gave me some really bad advice. I bought some really bad stuff. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just went up, knocked on the doors. I had like a basic script, and here was my go-to line. I had no idea what I was doing. Are you aware of the pending? Are you aware of the pending issue on your home? And it was just like, I mean, you were waiting to hear like a gunshot or a snap of a barrel or a dog running at you. I had some crazy stuff happen to me. I've been spit on. I've been chased down the road. Like, you can't fight back. You're the one approaching the door. And so now it's much more of a subtle approach. I love the reverse driving for dollars marketing method, because it's not as confrontational. It's like, I stick a note on the door. If I have 100 doors, I stick 100 notes on there and say, listen, I got a quick question about your house. It's a phone number. And then in the event I get caught, like, if someone goes, hey, what are you sticking a note on my door? Now, listen, if I'm talking about like a solo operator, like you're doing, and like I did for a long time ago, listen, I'm just, if they start screaming at me, I'm like, listen, don't just shoot the messenger. My boss made me put this out there. Give them a call if you got a question. Or they go, no, can I ask you some questions about, can you help me out? I'm like, well, I know a little bit. I can probably help you out. Like, listen, the biggest challenge with foreclosures is connecting with them to talk. The average foreclosure took us over like 30 phone calls just to try to get them on the phone. So when you get them on the phone, you have to get as much information as you can to decide if you're going to move forward with it or not. So today, I don't know, man, people are sensitive. I agree. Most of the time in foreclosure, they're in denial. They'll just flat out lie to your face.
Right.
Because they're hurt, they're embarrassed. And so I've always told you there's two things every seller's looking for from a wholesaler. And this is 20 years. This will never change. And when I'm long and gone, it's not going to change. They're looking for convenience of a transaction. Don't be difficult. Make this super easy. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. That's how they got in this situation. And number two, they want their dignity. Probates, foreclosures, don't judge them. They've been judged their entire life. You and me are judged every day. If you don't judge them and you give them the dignity, you have a strong possibility if they decide to sell the house. So you have to make that assessment in your own common sense on how you're going to approach that. So whenever you approach somebody in pre-foreclosure, it's embarrassing. And here's how I look at it. Anyone who calls, like, we do a lot of inbound marketing just because we can. Like, it makes a lot of money. And when you get to a certain level, you can do that stuff. I knocked on doors, guys. Zach did hundreds of thousands of cold calls. Like, we still do our time. We just teach other people to do it. You have decisions to make on like how you're going to deal with these people. And so when someone, here's my theory, and this is my belief on marketing. If somebody contacts me either through a letter, a phone call, I don't really, nobody does an email. Occasionally we get some online leads, I assume they have a problem and they want help. It takes a lot of, listen, you guys, anybody who does direct mail, it takes guts for somebody in distress, because they're on one of your distresses, to call you to say, they don't just say, hey, listen, hey, Rick, I got your letter. You know what? I want to get rid of this crappy house. Take it for whatever you want. God bless you. Have a good, it never works out that way. Occasionally, like 1 out of every 10,000 deals will work out like that. They're calling you and they're never going to, like, when you meet people, they're not going to tell you what their problem is right up. They don't even know you. Like, it's uncomfortable. So you have to find a way to kind of get to know them and just kind of, and then I let them tell me the information. I don't attack them anymore because I don't get anywhere doing it. It just becomes a fight. So if somebody calls me off of a foreclosure list, I already know they're in foreclosure. I have to get them to admit it. You telling them as a wholesaler, you're going to get in a fight. And how are you going to buy your house if you're going to fight with them?
Well, it's kind of human nature, right? Trying to get somebody to admit they have a problem.
Yeah.
They have a problem. They know they have a problem. They don't want to admit they have a problem.
Think the first time you took your significant other out on a date. You saw the best side of that person. Even though they got a lot of dirt in the closet, like everybody has it. We all have it. Like, we're not immune to it. Life happens. If that person dumps it on you in the first minute, they think you're going to run and hide. And your sellers are no different. They have a lot of pride. Remember, they want dignity, Christian. Like, that's it. We're digging for distressed sellers, like tax things. Most tax people I deal with, they're some of the most, everything's in denial. It's like, nah, I'm not behind on my taxes. I'm like, look, and sometimes I want to go like this. I'm looking online right now. It says delinquent and there's a tax deed certificate sale coming up. I don't know. I paid that. Okay. So I don't fight with them. So I just say, listen, what do you want to do? What's the perfect situation for you? And honestly, if it just doesn't make sense, I just move on. So does that help you with that?
Yeah. It's
so many wholesalers. The problem is most wholesalers just attack. They attack. You want to sell your house? Like my biggest pitch, like here's another one I was taught, but it worked back at the time. Is like, if I paid you all cash and close quickly, what's the lowest price you'll give me on the house? Dude, you use that technique today, you're going to get like, you can't use that. Like, I want the lowest price, but you have to help the seller out. If you're trying to help yourself out first, this is going to be brutal. You're going to wind up being a realtor. And I don't want people to be that. And for that reason, it is, me and Zach always say, just try to help the seller out. Like, try to help them as best you can. Get ready for this. I've sold houses. I've actually lost money just to help people out because I feel bad for them. I've given like people loans and like, when I give someone a loan, I just look at it as a gift. Like, I just got to move on. So when it comes to that, when you're confronting people in foreclosures, probate and stuff like that, on the probates, I never go, yeah, I heard your husband died. How's that going? And you can't do that. I don't even talk about it. I go, listen, hey, it looks like you're the owner on like this property. Is it something you're interested in talking about? Or is this not a good time? Do you want me to call back? Like, I just assume people got a lot going on in probate. Like, I'm okay with them like delaying my phone call, but I'm persistent and I keep going. I've got my butt. So I get chewed out all the time. I get people in my business and I just tell them, I go, listen, just put yourself in their shoes. Tell me what you think. That's why they told you to go F off. Sorry.
Right.
It's okay. I give them a pass. So with your list, recycle them as often as you can without breaking the bank. So if you're just starting out and you're on an extreme budget, then push your list. So if you're trying to maximize like the PropStream, you're getting 10,000 a month. That's 120. What's that? 10,000 times 12. That's 120,000 leads a year. Look at your marketing plan and see if it fits in there. If it's well within it, then you can recycle the list more. With probates, it's all about speed. There's no recycling a probate list. The only question in probates is how often am I going to chase this person down? So we do the phone calls, we do the initial letter, and then what I'll do is put them in like a postcard follow-up because it's really cheap. And then I just send them a regular, we buy houses type of postcard. And sometimes we catch them with that. And that's it. And then after 9 months, we typically just let it go because it's just not going to go anywhere. Some people just don't respond to it.
So with that, I mean, with probates and government lists and things. So this week I've switched over. I've been getting a lot of code violation lists, all those things from the city and the county. And while they're getting that info to me, luckily one of the calls I made from my old list, the high equity vacant thing, that might plan out to something. Yeah. But with these lists, how much need is there for something like PropStream? If I'm getting the info from the city or the county,
you don't need it. I'm here to tell you, I don't have an agenda for you, Christian. Like, if PropStream works for you, great, use it. I'd rather you hire a PropStream than go out and get an employee.
Right.
But honestly, all these lists, if you can get it from the exact data source and not drive yourself nuts, go for it. It's how I did it. When I started, I used to download all the county records. I put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and I would get someone a lot smarter than me. I go, listen, find me all the properties that are 10 years old that haven't that the mortgage is almost like free and clear, and that's how we did it. But I actually had to pay hundreds of dollars 20 years ago to even sort that information. It was a lot of money back to me at the time. Mm-hmm. So whenever the guys understand it, if you can get direct to the source without driving yourself nuts, go for it. Especially if you're trying to get your first deal. And then the reason why you want to have some sort of marketing plan or like a budget plan is when you get your first deal or two, like most people get a first deal or two and they change everything. Actually, it's the worst thing you can do. Keep doing what you did to get that. And then just build up a bank account and get a muscle, because the most dangerous money you make in wholesaling is your first $100,000, because you feel invincible. You're like, oh, this is going to be like no brainer. And you'll find out there's peaks and valleys in it. And just like live minimally, expand, because freedom. Here's the secret in wholesaling. If you can suck it up for 2 years and just turn on the machine and get deals after deals, and it starts out slow, that's how it works. There's no magic pill for it. But if you can live way below your means, and me and Zach teach the 20% rule. I know it sounds extreme. In 2 years, you are 100% free. Go do 24 months. And dude, you're in your own bed in your own home. It's not that big of a deal. People look around you like you're absolutely nuts. Dude, I live so below my means. Like I don't have to work. Like I don't have to work. I do it because I enjoy it and I love it. And I want you guys to do the same. So I think you've answered your own question. PropStream, it's not a requirement. I'm not pushing it. If it helps you out, go for it. And if it consolidates from you getting an employee and you don't want to pay $2,000 or $3,000 a month for a basic type of employee to pull all that stuff for it, use it. Okay. Now, when you get to the point, the value you're going to find in PropStream or in batches, you're going to find the 10,000 leads are included with it. I'm like, okay, well, $97. I got to, like some counties you go down there, they charge $150 to process the list. Sometimes it is cheaper to go to prop. So you have to constantly do an evaluation. And then once you get it up and running and you got people helping you out, then you kind of have to use those services or you're going to drive yourself nuts. Do you know what it takes to put an employee in a company car, drive down with gas to go get stuff at a courthouse? You can do it, but when you have to hire someone to do it, then it gets really complicated.
Right.
It gets really complicated. And you go, okay, $97 is well worth it. So does that help you out?
That helps. That helps.
You got it. Just keep calling back in. We're happy to help you out with. But guys, using these services are not a requirement. It should be a help. And if you're struggling, you just want to get your first deal and you can get these lists. Guys, I ran my entire business for 2 years off of a yellow notepad and made close to $1 million. The technology is just innate. That's it. Okay. So the only requirement I will tell you, you got to have a cell phone. Sorry. That's the one thing that is non-negotiable. There's no way to operate this business without a cell phone because you can't contact your sellers and you'll be in a car all day if you don't do it. Got it?
Copy that.
Okay, Christian.
Appreciate it, brother.
Have a good one, man. See you. Okay, guys. So I hope I'm giving like some value and you guys understand how this works. It's the message you get across today that wholesaling is about connecting with people and doing it. Like you don't have to know everything. I didn't know everything. If I waited till I knew everything, I'd still be trying to figure it out. I was taught that way. It just, listen, the people that love me the most, they just want you safe and they want you. Education is not just a school thing. Okay. But it takes education and tons of action to really put it together. The problem with a lot of school systems, we spend a lot of time on education and there are other people's curriculums. You don't even know if like what you want to do and there's no action. And then when you go to the action, it doesn't work. You're like, okay, what did I get all this education for? Okay. I spent 6 years in college. I got a finance degree. I actually learned, I learned to study financials and it really helps me out with, my conversations with the accountants, with balance sheets, cash flow statements, P&Ls, the whole 9 yards. And that's it. I did a lot of other stupid things I wouldn't even like talk. I had a good time in college. I had too good of a time in college. Don't let the best years of your life be like while you're in school of any type. Your best years should be here's how life works. I'm going to end it with this. Okay. Every year of your life should get better all the way to the end. Because if you take care of enough people, they'll in turn take care of you. Money is just a byproduct of it. And you can use that money to make sure you end life in a most fulfilling way, which is giving back to the people you love, donating to charity, whatever you decide to do, and making sure you're taken care of. That's how life works. You should get better each year. You should never peak at 24, 25. That is a lie that's been told to you. You get better. Okay. You should get better every year till the day you die. And the day you stop learning and wanting to help people out, then you're cut off from life and it doesn't work that way. So guys, do me a favor. Click that, give me some love before you get off on the chat here and do me a favor, go over to YouTube. This entire thing's recorded. It is live. You can go to Flip with Rick. Also, if you guys go over to Rick Ginn's YouTube channel in there, we're just starting that back up. And we're going to give you like some content, so sometimes I get into like some parenting advice and stuff like that. And I try to tie it all together. So if you're interested in that, we're going to segregate some of that information So if that's what you want, and maybe you need some help with that, I can give you some guidance with that. And check out Zach in my son's channel. He does some more financial and teaches you how to get really financially free once you get all that wholesaling money in your first 100 grand. And guys, don't forget the June challenge. This thing's going to be intense. It's going to be fun. And remember, the ultimate reward, we got a ton of prizes for you, and we're going to surprise the heck out of you. And you guys know we're just giving because we don't ask anything else from you other than your time. Is sign up for it. Okay. Because the ultimate prize is getting you a deal to put money in your bank account to show you this 100% works. You got to have the conviction that your belief of wholesaling works. Once you do that, that's your reward. I want the reward is every one of you walk away with a $10, $20, $30,000 payday. Whatever me and Zach give away on that, it's just a bonus on top of it. I'm trying to drive the behavior so you can actually get the reward of financial freedom and just really have freedom to do whatever you want. Guys, go out, have a safe weekend, have a good time, and go out, guys. Just go out and talk to sellers and connect with them, and let's work together. You guys know where to meet up with us. I'll see you guys on YouTube. Have a good one, man.